Hey guys, Blake here with another video, and today we're going to talk about how to care for and breed these wonderful little fish, the Honey Gourami. Let's jump straight into the video. So the Honey Gourami is an anabantoid, which means it's in the same family as bedders and other gouramis. However, I like the Honey Gourami because they're a lot more peaceful than other anabantoids. You can happily keep them in a bunch or in a community tank, and you won't really have many issues with aggression and things like that. Honey Gouramis come from India and Bangladesh, and sometimes around Nepal, so they're a tropical fish. They do also have a few other common names, so you may be aware of these fish as sunset gouramis, red honey gouramis, or red flame gouramis. They live between 4 to 8 years and get to a size of about 3 inches or 7.5 centimeters. Because of that, I would suggest a minimum tank size of around 10 gallons or 40 liters. You want to keep a little bit of space for them, and depth in the tank isn't as important as length and width, because they're pretty much a mid to top dweller, so they're not always going to utilize the full water column. Any tank that you do set them up with, I would always recommend being a planted tank. They will enjoy exploring dense vegetation. Doesn't really matter what plants you use, just so long as you give them a nice jungle feel, and that'll give them plenty of areas to escape to, which will mean that you'll actually see them a lot more, because they'll have that security of knowing that at any point they can duck off into the background where all the plants are. Honey Gouramis are an omnivore, so you can feed them protein and vegetable matter. They're often confused with dwarf gouramis because of their body shape and similarities, but they're actually a total different species in their own. In order to sex them out, females are going to have more of a silverish grey tone to them, and males are going to be a lot more vibrant. Honey Gouramis will enjoy a pH between 6 and 7.5 and a temperature between 71 and 82 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 22 to 28 degrees Celsius. Honey Gouramis can easily be paired with things like rasboras and tetras, corridoras and other bottom dwellers, and most other community style fish. Just be careful not to keep them with anything that's too large or aggressive that might actually predate on these fish. Honey Gouramis are bubble nest breeders, which means that the males will form a bubble nest by blowing lots of little bubbles on the underside of a leaf, or maybe some floating plants, at which point they will begin to display and attract the female. When the female is nice and full of eggs, then they'll do a courting dance, and the male will collect up the fertilized eggs and place them in the bubble nest, where they will remain for 24 to 48 hours until they hatch out. This entire time the male will care for the eggs in the bubble nest, continuing to catch any that fall if a bubble pops, and then place them back in a new bubble inside the bubble nest. So the males are really great parents usually, and the breeding process is fairly easy to make happen. All I would recommend is maybe placing an Indian almond leaf or something like that in the aquarium, making sure it's floating on the top, giving an area for the male to create a bubble nest. Condition well with nice proteiny foods like bloodworms, brine shrimp and things like that. And in no time you should find that you've successfully bred your Honey Gouramis. After 48 hours, when the fry are free swimming, you can remove the adults, because at that point they only pose a risk of predation on the babies, so just remove them. Better to be safe than sorry. Other than that, I find Honey Gouramis to be a fairly hardy, peaceful and brightly coloured fish, great for beginners, and a great fish to introduce yourself to maybe different spawning habits of a fish and things like that. So definitely recommend giving them a go. Hopefully you like this video. If you did, it always helps me out to smash like, hit subscribe and all that fun stuff. Other than that, I'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day.